I make videos like this and wonder why I am shadow banned on YouTube. Let's go ahead and get into a question that was sent in by a viewer. Zach, I have a homesteading problem and I'm not sure what to do about it. My chickens can't seem to catch a break. I've had a number of break-ins over the past year, and recently there is a hawk that won't leave my coop alone. He's killing chickens one after another. These are a protected animal and killing them is out of the question. There is another popular YouTube channel called Homestead that recently experienced the same thing, but their solution was to build a bigger protected run to allow the chickens more space. But that doesn't solve the problem of letting them free range. What do I do? Signed, Ron. There is something that can be easily done. You just have to find the intestinal fortitude to do it. Listen, today I'm going to tell you some of the realities of homesteading. These are the kind of things that get me in trouble. Because there's just a reality that you have to understand and deal with. And you can still be minded in a way to treat the animals that you're dealing with correctly in a conservation-minded manner. But still, there's a hard line that has to be drawn. This is your food source. You're being attacked. I've done videos in the past that homesteading, gardening especially, is like war. It's a war zone. And you have to deal every year with things like funguses and diseases, plant diseases, all the way up to insect pest pressures, and then regular animal pest pressures like gophers and armadillos and rabbits and deer getting into your garden. And you have to do battle. You have to be willing to make the hard call when the hard call needs to be made. Your chickens need to free range. They need to go out. I mean, yes, you can keep society has raised chickens in tiny little cages for a long time now. You can do that if you want to. You're not going to produce a very healthy product if that's what you choose to do. It's more healthier for the chickens, better for their life, better for you, better for your family, better for your food, intake, to give them access. But they need help. They can do a lot of things on their own, but there are too many pest pressures out there to go out into this brave world by themselves. You are their caretaker and you must be their shepherd. If I see a hawk and it's circling above my coop, there is only one thing that happens.
What is it? Holy shit, we're being painted!
I understand that there are laws to protect those animals. I get it. And I don't want to hurt those animals. But if it comes down to my food source and them, they're going to lose. There is a saying out here: shoot, shovel, and shut up. Shoot, shovel, and shut up. I, and only I, know where the bodies are buried. And I'm not telling. And there are bodies. There are bodies. And listen, I'm not talking about just, hawks. We have bobcats. And listen, I try to be obedient. I try to adhere to the standards that society has set up. I will call the game and fish and be like, hey, listen, I need a depredation permit. I got a bobcat out here. I've got him on camera. He's eating and killing my chickens. We've killed raccoons, bobcats, things out of season. There is a fur bearing season. You can legally take bobcat and raccoons, but bobcat and raccoons don't care what month it is to go and start pulling chickens out of the chicken vending machine, as Hacksman calls it, to get their chickens. I love the Hacksman channel. I have watched. It's a beautifully produced channel, and he does not talk about topics like I'm talking about today, the cold hard reality. Thus the reason he puts up a video and it gets like 400,000 views automatically. And he's got, I don't know how many thousand, 400,000 subscribers or, whatever. He produces beautiful content. But let me tell you the real story about how life works. And I recommend go subscribe to his channel, the Hacksman channel. It's beautifully produced homesteading content and very well edited. I can't imagine how much time he spends editing his videos, and even scripting them. I mean, he obviously tells a story. Every video is a story, and it's wonderfully produced. I highly recommend the channel. However, let's talk the nitty gritty here. There are things you must do in order to protect your homestead. You know, just the other day, recently, I saw 2 dogs at my driveway. I don't recognize those dogs. They're not my neighbor's dogs. Not that I know of. I know most of my neighbor's animals. And they're not from here. And we're getting a lot of drop-offs lately in the country because food prices are going up. Dog food prices are going up. Some dog food and animal pet food is getting hard to even find. And so what they do, they take their animal to the pet shelter, and the pet shelter says, well, I'm sorry, we can't take your animal. And if we take your animal, we're probably going to have to euthanize it. And the dog owner's like, oh, I can't do that. Or the cat owner's like, I can't do that. So what will I do? I'll take it out to the country. I know, it's an animal, and it'll fend for itself. And so they take it out to the country where I live, and they let it go. And they drive off, and the dog's like, where's my kibble? I need my kibble. And so it goes around, and its kibble becomes my chicken coop, or my sheep herd, or, you know, my kids, if you get a feral dog pack that's big enough. This is why I don't get the subscribers and the viewership on YouTube, because let's talk about reality. I have killed at least a half a dozen dogs on this homestead that have showed up and have behaved incorrectly. If you show up on this homestead and I don't know you, strike 1. If you show up on this homestead and you don't have a collar, strike 2. If you show up on this homestead and you mess with my animals, all the strikes don't matter. It's automatic. Strike 3, you're out. And I'm putting you down. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. With the most extreme prejudice. You're not going to take my animals. If you can't kill an animal, if you can't put rounds down range on target onto something fleshy that is threatening your existence and your ability to produce sustenance for you and your family, you're not ready for homesteading yet, or you need to get to the point where you can do that and not feel ashamed about it one way or another. Now, again, maybe Hacksman is actually doing that, and he's just putting it out there. You know, it's entertaining. His videos are entertainment. But so maybe he is doing that. I mean, after all, he's a nice-looking man with a nice-looking beard. He probably knows how to do the manly things. So maybe it's just all entertainment. But how it's perceived amongst the general public is that, oh yeah, you can't kill those things. I know a guy, I mean, let me really dive down deep into the you don't talk about this type zone. I have a friend who lives north of here, and he has men pens. And we have a lot of bald eagles in our area. And one day he let his men pens, he had 2 men pens. He's got like 3 or 4 now. But back in the day, he let out his 2 men pens, and all of a sudden he heard a commotion and some squealing outside his door. He had just let him out to go to the bathroom. And one men pen he saw flying away in the clutches of a bald eagle. Men pen down! Men pen down! No, wait. Men pen up! Men pen up! Bye-bye, men pen. If you know what a min pin is, leave a comment below. But they are bird food out here. These are animals that don't exist in nature. They are created solely by the genetic sequencing of man. They're hybrids of dogs. They would never survive in the real world because of that example right there. Now, I've never had a problem with the bald eagle, okay? Bald eagles are pretty smart animals. Bald eagles, and I have seen them circling the coop way high above. They're checking things out, and all you have to do is walk out to that coop, and they start circling higher and higher and higher, and they go away. Because bald eagles are smart. They know. But if they see a min pin out there with, hey, you know, and it's lunchtime, and there's no one out there to defend the min pin, bye-bye, min pin. Listen, we're talking about the cold hard realities of homesteading. You need to be willing to get your hands bloody. You need to be willing to get your hands dirty. There are some cold hard facts that you need to come into comprehension with. There's a need for things like this in our world. Don't let, Sleepy Joe convince you that you don't need these things. You need them for all kinds of reasons. Not to mention, pest pressures. The two-legged pest pressures. You have to deal with that too. I like this shotgun. It is a Mossberg 500, and it's very well used. It actually needs some gunsmithing work on it, but it does work fine. It'll do the job I need it to do. I wish I had a gunsmith in the area nearby I could get a hold of. Anyway, all that to say for this video is that, listen, yes, you got to be ready to do the hard things for homesteading. And if you build a coop, you can build a bigger run, okay, Ron? You can build a bigger run, give your chickens more space. We have a big run. There are times where we have to put our chickens in the run. There are also times where we have to, do battle. And you hate to do it, but it's something that you have to do in order to preserve your food. So think of it that way. I know society looks at certain things a certain way, but you have to be able to get out of that and look at things the way things have always been looked at. If something is threatening you, you must defend it. If something is threatening your family and their food source, you have to defend it. You have to defend it. I hope all that makes sense. And I hope you have the ability to do what I'm suggesting. Check out our merchandise, teespring.com. Links in the description below. You can find our best-selling shirt, Stupid Should Hurt. If we had more hurt in this world, there'd be a lot less hawks raiding chicken coops. Because stupid should hurt. And you don't take we have to deal with all the raccoons and all the other stuff that happens. Raccoons will pull a chicken through a fence line piece by piece to get them all out. They will. It's brutal. It's horrific. So you better be ready to deal out the horrific back. Okay. Check out our merchandise, teespring.com. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Am I overboard here? Do I need to, take a step back? Maybe I just need to, let the hawks eat everyone. I can offer up a sacrifice to them every once in a while. Here, take my chickens. See you next time in the homestead. Bye. This is Grandma. Grandma survived the Great Depression. She survived the Great Depression because her supply chain was local and she knew how to do stuff. Grandma was smart. Grandma told us to make do with what you got. She also said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Homesteading is all about self-reliance and declaring ourselves to be independent from the system. We grow our own food, we raise our own animals, and doing these things helps safeguard our families from the unpredictable world that surrounds us. But what about banking? I love being my own power company, but what about being my own bank? Right now, our country is over $30 trillion in debt and rising. The Fed keeps printing money, and the Congress won't stop spending money. Staying attached to the modern banking system and their investment vehicles is like putting all of your eggs in one very, very fragile basket. On one side, you have the threat of inflation and your savings value floating away. And the other side is a possible deflationary stock market collapse, just like what happened in the 1930s. Genesis Gold Group is like a basket holding eggs, and these eggs are impossible to break. History shows us that all paper investments have and will return to their intrinsic value eventually. Zero. But gold, silver, and other precious metals have never, ever been worthless. In every collapse throughout history, people have turned back to precious metals to find monetary value. If you have a 401k, an IRA, or a savings account where you're literally watching the purchasing power inflate away, give Genesis Gold Group a call right now. Today, this instant. They can develop a strategy for you and the days ahead. I can tell you how I raise sheep, I can tell you how I raise chickens, or the best way to grow tomatoes, or how to hook up a solar panel. But Genesis Gold Group is your best shot at safeguarding your hard-earned savings and investments during this increasingly turbulent time in history. The link and phone number is in the description below, or visit their website at genesisgoldgroup.com. And be sure to say you heard about them from An American Homestead. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of An American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.